What if I told you that you don't really own your home? Even if you've been paying mortgage for years, the truth is your mortgage is structured more like a lease. And once you see how the system works, you'll never look at home ownership the same again. Now, before we dive into this video, this is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. Remember to do your due diligence. Remember to tap into the information on your own. You dig what I'm saying? Number 2, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tap into the community. All right? Tap into the channel. We are exposing mortgages, auto loans, debt, and the financial system in its totality. So make sure you guys are sticking around all the way to the end, because we're going to be dropping some game that nobody is talking about. All right. Now, we've talked about mortgages on this channel, and I wanted to pretty much break down the fact that your mortgage is not what it seems. Okay. We talk about securitization. We talk about the aspect of you being able to discharge your debt. But now it's time to really reveal why we do the things that we do. Now it's time to truly reveal the secrets that your mortgage company doesn't want you to know, won't reveal to you. Okay. Not only your mortgage company, but this goes as far as the state. Okay. They collude with the banks in order to carry this out. Okay. So thank y'all for watching the video. Let's dive in. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the illusion of ownership. Okay. People believe that signing a mortgage means that you own a home, but the reality is that you only hold an equitable title, which is essentially the right to use the property, while the bank or trustee holds the legal title until the loan is satisfied. That means that you're essentially leasing from the bank with the threat of foreclosure always hanging over you. Even after decades of payments, miss one and they take the house. That is not ownership. Okay? That's a tendency dressed up as the American dream. You own your home is an illusion, just for the simple fact that yes, you may pay a mortgage. Number 1, you're paying a mortgage. Number 2, you are also paying property taxes on it. So you will forever be paying the state for your home. And somehow we seem to think that there are some people that think, oh man, buying my home was one of the best investments I ever made, not knowing that you don't even have ownership. Okay. This is why most wealthy people invest in real estate only to make money. Okay. I've talked about this being a monopoly board. And if you know how to play Monopoly, the whole point of the game is to be able to build assets and pretty much have the most money in the game. Okay. To continue to keep playing the game. Okay. Not run out of money. And a lot of people go broke attempting to own a home. Okay. Again, go and own a home. Okay. Go ahead. And I'm not against home ownership or acquiring a mortgage. I'm not against that. But the fact that you can do all of this, we know behind the scenes in terms of securitization, in terms of them doing pooling and servicing agreements and essentially, giving the title to someone else. It just doesn't even make sense. We never really own anything that we sign off for. Not because like the money isn't released or we don't pay it off, but simply because there's so many elaborate things put in place that kind of hinder you from actually having true ownership. If you have a home in the United States, you have to pay property taxes. If you own a business in the United States, you make money, you have to pay taxes. Unless you go through different channels like create a nonprofit organization, a 503, or whatever the case may be, all the stuff that people try to do to evade taxes. But you can't truly own nothing. All right? I don't say that to discourage you, but to help you understand the mechanics of this game. Now, let's just talk about the mechanics of a mortgage contract. Okay. Now, we talked about this. The fact is, when you sign a promissory note, you are actually creating a negotiable instrument, and the bank books it as an asset. So if the bank books it as an asset, that means that the value has already been exchanged from your part. And now it's up to them to make sure that they give you what they promised, which was the loaned money, the thing that you signed for. But the reality is that contract is not really a loan. That contract is actually a bond that when you sign it, it gives it value. So technically, they're just giving you money back that you have created. Okay? Now, after this happens and you understand how credit is created, all right, the mortgage or the deed of trust secures the property against that note, giving them legal claim until the balance is discharged. Okay? Many mortgages are immediately securitized, pulled, sold, and even transferred, sometimes multiple times. You hear me? Now, at this point, this means that they're passing around your mortgage. And a lot of people will say, well, this is happening and blah, blah, blah. And they'll have an emotional attachment to it or whatever the case may be. This is why my debt should be discharged. But the truth is, to the aspect or the argument of when these things are happening, the transfers are happening and your debt gets passed around or sold. This is not for you to say, well, it's been passed around, blah, blah, blah. No, it's for you to essentially challenge them and see who actually has, who is the holder in due course, and have that person, if there is a debt to be owed, come after you for the debt and not some servicer that doesn't have collection rights. Okay. But securitize means that they are selling it. And this is an opportunity for you to use that against them. Not something that you could just immediately say, oh my God, like they sold it so many times and this is this, that, and the third. And that's why I stopped paying it, or this is why I don't need to pay it. And you're right, but you got to come a little bit more stronger than that. Okay. Another affirming thing is the fact that the banks don't even keep your note, but they'll keep your payments flowing. So the reality is you create a value. With that value, they're making you pay for the value that you created over time. Okay. Not telling you the truth nature of the inception of the agreement, which is the simple fact that they got the money from the Federal Reserve because of your signature. Okay. Another thing I want to add on to kind of compound to this. Okay. Hidden truth is that you don't truly own the property. You're just in a long-term lease where the bank is the landlord, judge, and the collector all at once. I want to show you this little diagram that I kind of put together. Mortgage equals lease, not ownership. Okay. See, what's happening is you get an equitable title. Okay. Meaning you have the right to use and occupy. Okay. You can pay mortgage. Your responsibilities is to pay the mortgage payments monthly, pay property taxes, pay insurance and fees, HOA permits and upkeep. The reality is that if you miss one payment, you'll lose possession. But then we dive into the aspect of what a legal title is. If you have a legal title, that means you hold lien on the property. That means you have the right to foreclose on the property. You can sell or securitize the note. And essentially, this is what the bank has, okay? The bank has ownership claim, okay? Here's the reality. It got paid once through a negotiable instrument, and now you're paying again. If you want to take a picture of this diagram, go ahead and take a picture of this diagram, okay? So yes, if you ever wondered, okay, is when people say my mortgage is leased, what is it that they mean? Simply for the fact that you pay property taxes even after you pay it off. Okay. You don't actually own it. You're paying into a mortgage, and until you claim ownership, whether you're going to do a discharge or a redemption process, or you're going to challenge the jurisdiction of who actually owns it, you don't actually own your property. If you're sitting there idle, not even having these conversations with your mortgage company, then yes, they're going to treat you as if you don't own it. All right. But you can believe whatever you want to believe. If you believe that you own it, by all means, then you do, you know. But when you miss a payment and they foreclose on your property, now you don't own it. So let's just talk about the foreclosure and how it can expose the game. If you truly own the property, no one can take it back after you missed one payment. Okay. Foreclosure proves that you are not the true owner. You are just a tenant until performance is complete or incomplete. The foreclosure process functions like an eviction, stripping you of your equitable title and returning control back to the bank. So now the bank can sell your property. Judges often use the word possession, not ownership, because that's what you really have until the lien is satisfied. Foreclosure isn't losing a home. It's about being evicted from a long-term lease. All right, let's talk about property taxes and fees. Even after you pay off your mortgage, you still don't own it outright. You still have to pay property taxes, and the government can seize your home even after you have paid off your mortgage. That means that ownership is conditional. Another form of tenancy where you pay a perpetual rent to the state. Add HOA fees, insurance requirements, permits, and you never escape paying just to occupy. Ownership in America is conditional. It's the permission to occupy, not the freedom to own. Okay? Now let's just talk about the real aspect of ownership. All right? Because there's the equitable title and then there's the allodial title. The allodial title is what essentially is what gives you full ownership. And maybe some of you guys watch this video and want to find out how you can essentially get full ownership of it. All right? And we're about to talk about that right now. So if you've gotten this far, hit the like button, comment down below what you thinking so far. All right? The fact that mortgage companies, the fact that banks, man, it's almost like we're just revealing so many things that have been going on, you know? And people have been talking about this, but maybe it wasn't some black guy, you know, talking about this. Maybe it wasn't a handsome 28-year-old talking about this. You dig what I'm saying? Maybe this is why people see it now. Again, I'm not no expert, I'm not no guru or nothing like that, but people have said stuff like this and talked about this, but never truly broke it down. But now let's break it down, because this is what ownership actually looks like when we are pertaining to your mortgage. True ownership means no superior landlord, meaning that there's nobody watching over your payments or collecting your payments, not the bank, not even the state. Okay? In theory, this is the allodial title. Absolute ownership, free from liens, taxes, or a superior claim. Under an allodial title, no one could foreclose, seize, or tax the property. It will be yours outright forever, okay? But in the US, nearly all property is held in a fee simple, okay? Ownership is always subject to taxes and conditions. That means that the state remains the ultimate landlord no matter what. Even if you pay off your mortgage, you're really just moving from leasing from the bank to leasing to the state through property taxes. Real ownership would mean no perpetual payments, but in America, property is designed to keep generating revenue for someone above you, okay? This is the game that we are a part of. Some of us think that as soon as we start talking about discharging debt, this just means you don't have to pay for anything. There's just certain things you can't get around. If you don't want to pay property taxes, the only way that you can possibly do it in most cases, and I'm about to talk about how to be able to pursue your allodial title, but you still got work to put in, right? Yes, there is a coupon that comes with your property taxes. You get what I'm saying? But again, be strategic. This is not tax advice. All right? Obviously, you can overcome taxes, but the reality is that's an advanced practice, overcoming taxes. So don't fret too hard about that. Pay your taxes. It's just sad that we're in a system like this, that you can pay off your home or pay off a particular property, but still have to pay your home. You know what I mean? It just don't even make sense. You don't truly have ownership. And that's the point of this video, to bring the truth, to bring the reality to you. Okay? It may make you feel good. You know, the common person will say you own that home. You're right. Okay? I won't argue with you, but let's just talk about how to pursue the allodial title so you can actually have true ownership. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is easy. I'm not saying that I've done it, okay? If anybody, I'm really putting this in the video for the people that truly want to know how to do it, okay? It's not going to be easy, though. I hope you are ready for that. I'm doing this to be able to put the information out there so you don't have to look for that, so that you're not searching for it and then spending your time, oh man, my house about to get foreclosed. Let me go ahead and get the allodial title and try to do this process that is not something that's going to take overnight. Okay, so first thing you want to do, okay, is how some people attempt to get the allodial title. Okay, number one, you want to pay off the mortgage, of course. The lien must be fully satisfied, and you cannot hold an allodial title with an active bank claim. Okay. Number two, you want to challenge the nature of property taxes. You can file claims under constitutional or common law grounds to limit taxation, but this is extremely difficult and is rarely successful. The reason why it's extremely difficult and rarely successful is because you'll be taking money out of the United States pocket and you'll be going against the United States Treasury. Okay? Some states have specific exemptions, like in Nevada and Texas, there are certain statutes that allow for the possibility of a allodial title under a limited program. So it's very limited in it's a possibility. So Nevada once had a program where property owners would deposit a large sum with the state to cover future taxes, effectively buying out the state's claim. So technically they still bought it, okay? These programs are rare, often repealed, and require heavy upfront costs. I don't think the common person has $30,000 to $40,000 to pay upfront property taxes. Okay. You can also do like a trust or a land patent strategy. Some people try to secure the property under a land patent or a private trust structure. While this may strengthen the claim of ownership, it doesn't erase taxes or the state's authority unless it is recognized by law. So you have to be very strategic. You have to understand your trust structure, and you have to understand your trust model. You have to understand trust law, constitutional law. So you know that what applies, okay? One may say, well, do that video. Maybe I'll do the video on that, okay? But I'm bringing this up for the people that's actually there in that space that can hear what I'm saying and say, you know what, damn, I can actually probably do that strategy. He said land or trust strategy. I think I may know a little bit about that. Let me go ahead and do a deep dive, okay? Some people be on the joint be wanting me to tell them everything. A to B. You got to get out your chair, go outside, drop it off at the post office. You have to write this down. You know what I mean? Give you ideas. All right. But here's the reality. In modern America, achieving the true allodial title is nearly impossible. The state will almost always retain the taxing authority, but pursuing a clear title, free of liens, mortgages, plus structuring it through a trust can give you stronger control and separation from creditor claims, okay? So the forbidden truth is this: the allodial title is more of a theoretical ideal than a practical reality in today's system, but knowing about it helps you understand just how deep the illusion of ownership really goes, okay? I'm gonna put together a step-by-step guide, and I'm gonna put it in my school community so that you guys can be able to access this. Obviously, there's only so much you can do. This is going to be for educational purposes only. But I'll tap it into my school community. If you join the school community, you can be able to get access to it. All right. Now, let's go ahead and talk about how to flip the script. Okay. Because the whole point of us being here, or the whole point of me talking about mortgages, yes, I wanted to bring your attention to mortgages because that is one of the most viewed topics on my channel is mortgages. But ultimately, I want to break down the game plan and the framework to everything that I talk about on this channel and how to essentially flip the script so that you're not being the debtor and you're actually the creditor, where you are the one taking control, where you are the pilot of your life. You are the pilot of the money that comes in and out of your bank account. Okay, you are the pilot of who collects debt from you, and you don't allow anybody take advantage of you. So the first thing that you want to do in order to flip the script is to learn consumer law, learn how to challenge the mortgage process, because if the note can't be produced or the assignments are defective, then it is null and void. That mortgage becomes unenforceable. If they have sold or securitized it, then they lost ownership to the mortgage. Okay, they cannot collect on the debt. So a simple challenge of conditional acceptance and understanding how to be able to communicate with a debt collector and ask them for certain disclosures. Knowing when they don't give us certain disclosures, that will put them in a position of non-compliance. Knowing that certain non-compliance, going from the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act all the way to the Truth in Lending Act, all the way up to Title 18, okay, of the Constitution, where it talks about criminal charges. There are so many ways that you can actually challenge the mortgage process. You just have to be willing to do the due diligence and research the information, okay? Watch as many videos as you need to, okay? Number 2, debt discharge. Learn how negotiable instruments and tender for value actually apply, okay? If you understand UCC 3-104, understand that your promissory notes are a bond, okay? Are bonds that essentially can be exchanged for money. And this is the very argument and the angle that you would take when it comes to debt discharge, being able to challenge whether that negotiable instrument is enforceable, whether or not you have tendered properly, right? Whether they have dishonored your legal tender, using the UCC 3-603 to your advantage so you can be able to discharge a debt that refuses your negotiable instruments, that refuses your coupon, right? Some of these processes can work on your taxes. Again, this is not tax advice, but I'm talking about this so that you can get the juices flowing, okay? Other way that you're going to flip the script, and this is one of the other angles and the other side of consumer law and debt discharge, is learning financial literacy. Stop relying solely on property as wealth, okay? Learn how to build income streams. Learn how to build assets outside of the system of, working a 9-to-5. You get what I'm saying? Learn how to create a business. Learn how to create digital products. Learn how to create cash flowing assets. Learn how to do things that will make you money so that you're not always worried about debt, so that you're not always fighting a debt collector. You get what I'm saying? At some point, we have to grow. You get what I'm saying? It's not going to be a game of you discharging debt for the rest of your life. Because like I said in my last video, you can get to zero, but at what point are you going to compound to get to where you need to get to? You know what I mean? You can discharge all the debt, but that's just going to put you at zero. What about getting past that? Well, I don't need that. Okay, then stop going to work. Stop saying that you don't need money, but you go to work every single day. That doesn't make any sense. Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. Well, why don't you treat making money like that's what you're supposed to do? Okay? This is not something to get away from your responsibilities. We're not just talking about debt discharge so that you don't have to pay bills and you could just kick back and do what you want to do. No, this is not the channel for that. Okay? Reality is this is a way so that you can have options, but it still requires work. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that want something that's a get rich quick or, wipe away something fast, and anything that comes fast won't stay long. Okay? Anything that takes some time to actually acquire stays for a long time. Okay? I don't know if I said the quote right, but you get what I'm saying. This is not, stop trying to make this a microwave society. It is a marathon. So yes, if you came to this video and thought that I was going to teach you how to discharge your debt by the end of this video, like how to discharge your mortgage so that by tomorrow you don't have a debt to pay, I'm sorry, you'll never find a video like that. You get what I'm saying? This is why you watch videos from many different content creators that speak in the industry and you think that, oh, we're speaking in parables and riddles. No, once you know it, I could break down the step-by-step process for one to be able to discharge their debt, challenge their mortgage, and they still won't be able to do it. This is why the research and the knowledge is important. And if you are an action taker, you should take the knowledge important. You know what I mean? And if you're a knowledge taker, then you need to start taking some action. All right? Thank y'all for watching the video. Down below, you can tap into the school community. I'm going to put in this mortgage to lease explainer diagram, and I'm also going to put a step-by-step process based off of this video in the school community. Go ahead and tap into the school community. It's completely free for the first 7 days. You dig what I'm saying? The Fund Yourself Academy is not only geared towards credit and consumer law, but it's also geared towards building up your income and overall learning financial literacy. Any question could be asked in the school community. If it's not there in the course, you can ask me directly in the school community. We also do monthly calls. All right, we did our call last week. I may do another one this month, or as a matter of fact, it is a new month. So call is on the way. Tap into the school community so that you can get an update. Number 2, if you want to work with me one-on-one, specifically on consumer law, debt discharge, or financial literacy, okay, tap into the application down below. Okay, if you want to work with someone who strategizes when it comes to finances, tap in with me. Okay, the application is down below. Fill it out and let's go from there. All right. Thank y'all for watching the video once again. Remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tap in with me on Instagram and also Twitch. We haven't been on Twitch in a while, but we're gonna get back on soon. So tap in. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. This video is sponsored by the Fund Yourself Academy. My step-by-step system designed to help you fix your credit, get funding, and build real financial freedom from scratch. If you're tired of feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, This is where it changes. Inside the academy, I break down everything from consumer law secrets that they don't teach in school to how to remove negative items and boost your score, get access to business funding, and start building multiple income streams online. Whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your game and get the bag, this is your playbook. We've got tools, templates, dispute letters, mentorship calls, private community access, and an exact roadmap I use to leave my 9 to 5 and create time freedom. But only for a limited time, you can get access to the Fund Yourself Academy on a free trial basis for the next 7 days. And then after that, you pay less than $1 a day at $27 a month if you like it. No fluff, just facts and just freedom. Go to thefundyourselfacademy.com or hit the link in the description to join now, because nobody's coming to save you, but you can fund yourself.